Hey everyone, Hank here. Just wanted to pop on and chat a little bit before we get into the main content about Marathon. We recorded this video before all this stuff went down, the current events happening with Bungie and Marathon. So just want to give you my 2 cents on the whole situation. And if you haven't heard, or you're not really a huge fan of the franchise or Bungie, first of all, thanks for watching, because the algorithm's doing its work. But let me give a quick recap. So the Scottish artist, known online as Anti-Real, posted a series of tweets that had some comparison photos, screenshots of her work versus some screenshots directly from the Marathon Alpha. And it appeared, there were some direct copies of her work right in the game. So somebody had basically just taken her artwork, made it a different color, put it in the game as decals for textures and stuff, and just called it a day. This is not the first time that Bungie has been accused of doing this, and not the first time they've been caught doing this, for one thing. And so it's kind of sad to see this happen amidst the kind of lukewarm reception that Marathon's been having. This game, it seems this game can't really catch a break. It's been developed for like 7 years. It's gone through 2 game directors. Their previous game director is suing the company. He was fired for some sexual harassment claims and allegations. So it's just it's a real mess. And it seems that that mess is continuing. Bungie had a live stream scheduled this past week, and this news broke, and then they still did the live stream, and man, that was rough. That was tough to watch. Joe Cross, the art director, looked like he was about to have a mental breakdown, just staring off into space. And the game director was talking a lot about the feedback that they were getting and the things they were going to do, but still they were having this we'll look into this. We'll take your feedback into consideration. That should have been the title of the live stream. Was like, we'll think about it and take your feedback into consideration, because it didn't seem like there were any concrete, decisions being made on some long-standing issues, like for instance, proximity chat and those kinds of things that some of the hardcore audience is asking about. Also, the technical side of things was just bad. I didn't even watch the whole stream. I only watched 10-15 minutes total, maybe, and the audio kept dropping out. I was silent for a while, and it was just bad overall. They didn't show any footage or anything new because of current events, so I applaud them for that, at least taking that into consideration. But they should have just delayed it, much like the game itself should be delayed. But that's another topic for another time. I can't imagine having to do a live stream about a game that you're pumped about, only to read a prepared statement on stolen artwork within your game. Something that you, as the art director and game director, should have known about too. So it's an extra kick to the balls. This puts a real damper on the whole situation. I was really looking forward to Marathon. I know a lot of people are pretty lukewarm on it, and I haven't even played the alpha, but everything I've seen, I'm still excited for it. But this is really crappy situation all around. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers and people posting a lot of, shall we say, clickbait, and a lot of I don't want to go too far, but there's a bit of hyperbole here and there. A lot of clickbaity titles, a lot of really nasty stuff. And I understand the situation is pretty grim. A big company stealing, a small struggling artist's artwork is pretty shitty. But at the same time, I do believe that it probably was one person that did this and then just passed it off and didn't tell anybody. And nobody would know any better unless you're really keeping track of these things. And it's very hard to do if somebody claims this is the work that they created, and unless you have some intermediary doing double checking everybody's work, it's almost impossible to stop this kind of stuff, aside from just not being a shitty person and doing it. But by the same token, Bungie's had so many issues currently with layoffs and firing people, getting rid of teams, then the acquisition with Sony, and some of their teams like splitting off from Bungie. It's just been a real mess over there, and management clearly not helping the situation and staying pretty silent on that front too. So all around, I'm pretty bummed about this because this is just another reason for people to start hating on the game that isn't even out yet, and another reason to drive sentiment for this game even further into the ground. Just too bad because I was hoping this game would succeed. I mean, I am very interested in playing an extraction shooter. The art style looks very interesting, uh, but having said that, now there's a little voice in the back of my head saying like, well, the art style is interesting because it's somebody else's art style, and I know you can't really copyright or claim an art style, but it is pretty obvious that there was a lot of inspiration taken from this artist. Not only taken inspiration, but they literally straight up stole some of her art. So when I say I like the art style, I mean it's a little bittersweet. I really hope they can work something out though and compensate, at the very least compensate this person and pay them for the work that was taken and stolen. So fingers crossed they come to some kind of solution. Like they're far enough in development now that they really can't pivot on the art style, and I'm not really sure what they're going to do, to be honest. In our discussions, my personal preference would be to delay the game. So you'll hear us talk a little bit about that in a moment here. But yeah, I don't know what the solution to this is. It's pretty grim, and I'm still going to play the game. I'll still buy it. I'm a Bungie fanboy through and through, and I've got a marathon video I'm still working on right now, and that's for the old series of marathon games with a little tenuous connection between the two. But yeah, I'm. It's not making me like Bungie anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but they got to get their shit together. Anyways, enough of me rambling. Let's get on with the video and talk a little bit about Marathon. Yeah, well, we're running really quick towards that release date. That Marathon we're running is. I really did try a segue there, but I couldn't quite cross the finish line.
Are we going to talk about Marathon now?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Marathon because number one, I'm pissed off, Bungie. I've been a Bungie fanboy. Loyalist since 1993. Okay? I played every single game you ever released, even your shitty 2 games before you were officially...
Even Oni?
Bungie. Oh, man, I played the shit out of Oni. I love Oni. It's a great game.
All right.
Love Oni. And for all the hardcores out there, I even played Abuse.
Yeah, I play that every day. Don't
even know what that is. There's a lot of abuse in playing a lot of these old games. But I've been there since the beginning. Right. Played the crap of all the Marathon games. I've made my own levels. I mean, I love all those franchises. Marathon in particular is like a special place in my dead heart.
You've tried to get us to watch you play the OG Marathon so many nights. I'm just like,
you're like, wow, this is incredibly terrible.
Just
it's an acquired taste.
Sure, I get it. Like
it's definitely of a time.
Absolutely, and like, yeah. So to see what you've seen now with Bungie Showcase, and they had that 9-minute long cinematic trailer that was
awesome.
Beautiful, frankly.
I thought that was easily the best thing they put out.
Yeah, and then they showed lots of gameplay, and they did, days of streamers playing it, and we've seen the impressions from so many streamers, so many Destiny players, and I think the general consensus is right now that it's sort of lacking.
Yeah, I think, before I get into that, I just want to say I didn't get an alpha code, and I'm pissed about that because I would really...
They were still giving them out as you were complaining. So, I was like, maybe you'll get one later, but it doesn't seem like that's happening.
Didn't check my junk mail every day. But yeah, the general consensus is it's amazing gunplay and gameplay like Bungie's known for. The maps are pretty sparse, and you don't get into a lot of tense PvP battles. And it's more fighting the AI with the PvE side, and it's just not enough of that. And then there's something missing is like the overarching thing I find with a lot of streamers and people saying like there's that hook. Something is missing from the game to like really pull you in. And I think um Bungie keeps like talking about like, oh, there's this big fourth level that they're going to release during their first like season, and it takes place on the marathon ship itself. Supposedly that one has like all these crazy like puzzles and mechanics and raid type stuff going on.
Sure.
But if I feel like they unfortunately need to show some of that, and they can't. If it's that's going to be the thing, they need to sell it because they are not. It's not being sold very well right now. I'm interested to play it. I will play it because I think it looks cool. But like, if I'm the only one that's playing it, I don't think I'm going to play it for very long.
It's not going to be a full price game either, so I'll probably buy it because it's going to be a $40 game, which is totally reasonable. My issue is a lot of the streamers have all said the same thing. There is a certain degree of a lacking hook to make you want to re-queue every time, and the rounds can vary between like I played for 20 minutes. Because what happens is you get your objectives at the start, and each person on your team will have different objectives. So I may be like, oh, I need to find this component out in the wild, and you'd be like, well, I need to go kill 30 of these things, or I need to go do this on a computer. So a lot of the complaints that people were having where they drop in, especially with randos, and your team would just split because everyone's off doing their own objective, and there's no cohesion on your team where you're like, let's go do it together. Like Helldivers thrives on you drop in, and if you break from your teammates, a lot of the time that's death. Unless you're playing with Frazier, who seems to just get it all done alone. But like that is a huge factor in a game like this, and I feel like already the streamers were like, well, people aren't really playing as a team, and that's a big issue. And like they were saying, the AI is punishing. So like even to run into the AI you can get absolutely wrecked. But a lot of the rounds they described as you go down, you do your objectives, you may run into another team. Most of the time you don't. You get your objectives complete and you get out of there. And so it's like, well, where was the thrill? Where was the gunplay? Like running into another team was almost a rare occurrence. And I think they need to sort of facilitate a better way to do that, to cultivate that encounter. And that's something that I think Bungie it will definitely take into consideration, because that was a major complaint.
I think also this is like the gist of most people are saying like this is legitimately an alpha, not like the alpha that most games have. Like no, this is actually there's a lot of work that still needs to be done.
Yeah,
and
I heard a lot of people
about that.
I heard a lot of people even say like outside environments didn't look rendered.
Yeah.
Like things were lacking. You go inside and it's like beautiful and the lighting's clearly better. And like there's stuff going on inside and it looks like a real environment. You go outside and it's true. Like there's these weird spindly trees and everything's a mossy green rock and nothing looks textured. And I think that's another thing for me. The aesthetic, I'm still not sold on the aesthetic of this game.
I'm sold on the aesthetic in the indoors because it looks phenomenal.
Sure. Well, it's done, right?
Yeah. And then the outside is just
pretty drab. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm with you. I'll buy it. I'll play it. But I am not expecting, unfortunately, and I think this is a thing Bungie's probably going to hear from a lot of people, the fall-off's going to be fast.
And they've got some real stiff competition too. So they're going to have to like really... Yeah. I think this is getting delayed, personally, because there's no way that it goes from this state to fully polished and like a finished product, or by at least September a starting 23rd. Finished product in September. Like that's way too soon.
Yep. It's a miracle that this is going to probably, like, you think it's going to be delayed?
If it's not, I hope it is, to be honest. But if they don't delay it, then I don't know what they're going to do. They've got their work cut out for them.
Listen, if they do delay it, there are two problems with delaying it. One, the Bungie loyalists like yourself are going to be more frustrated. And two, you are now entering the arena of GTA 6, which has also been delayed to next year. that game is going to be completely ignored if it's even within the realm of GTA 6.
There is a possibility if they release in like January, February timeframe, then they
Sure.
can get, because there's usually not a ton of releases at that point in the year.
No, but they are, again, Rockstar had said they're aiming for May. So if they delay it to January, you're only getting a couple months of players, and then you're going to get a huge drop off.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm fingers crossed because I do want to play it. I love the franchise. The lore is cool. The story is wacky and out there. It's like if any of you guys are fans of Marathon or of Halo, Marathon is like the predecessor to Halo, but like all the rough edges. And Halo's the polished version of the Marathon kind of story of like the Space Marine hero. So
yeah.
Anyways, I look forward to seeing what they come up with. I'll try it regardless of what happens. So.